Hey, how is everyone doing today? It is Yolanda from Empowered Parenting, and today I'm here to talk about a very highly requested topic is how do I get my kids to be in a routine to go at bedtime or routine even in general, just getting our kids to comply without all of the resistance that they put up is such an important area where parents feel very defeated. So I'm going to ask you, what is your current bedtime routine in your home? Or do you even have a routine? What is your routine for yourself? Do you know that our kids thrive with structure, that our kids need to have a sense of what happens when, which allows them to feel safe and to feel safe and to feel happy? It is an indication of happiness when they feel safe in a home, and safety comes from having safe boundaries and having structure in the home where a child knows what's happening now and what's going to follow through. So think about what your routine is. Put it in the comment section where you are at. What is your current routine to go to bed? Do you recognize that there is a sense of need for control? So even though I've included this video to be in general for kids of all age, with older kids, just check in to see where does your child have a need for control, and do they use the bedtime routine as a time where they assert their control or they push back on your control over them. So things to think about, because this is all very key to coming to that space of creating a routine in your home. So with Empowered Parenting, a lot of our work is directed into what is the energy you bring into your parenting. Where are you at? So in order to get our kids, so step one is to come to a space of calm when we step into bedtime routine. It could be that your bedtime in your home is, say, 8 p.m. So you'd be looking at tuning into bedtime routine after dinner. Hey Michelle, good to see you here. So first step is calm. Where is that sense of calm and how can you create that calm? And more importantly, where is a sense of calm within you? Where are you at? Often inevitably, if the parent is stressed around their child going to bed in time, or they feel stress and anxiety around bedtime routine, then guess what? Our kids are picking up our emotional cues. They will be responding, or they could be responding to your emotional cues. And that's why we see with younger kids, often as we come to bedtime, when parents are starting to set up for bedtime and feeling the anxiety, you find so many kids playing up even more. It's like their energy levels skyrocket. Tell me if this is you in your home. Do your kids suddenly have a big spurt of energy around bedtime, which is really coming from a resistance to what's to follow, which is coming from them picking into your emotional cues around your desire to get them to your desire to control this time, and you've got set expectations that part of you already knows you're going to be disappointed about, because you have an expectation that your child isn't even going to listen to you. So where is your expectation at is very key to this creating that safe bedtime routine, because as you have an expectation that your child will calm and will calm down and will get ready for bed, the words that you use and the energy from which you speak to them, just from that intention and expectation that you have of them, I want you to observe this to see, play the energy game. This is what I say to my clients: play the energy game. As you come down, as you feel relaxed, of course having structure, because we need structure and we need controls, but let's control what we can control. And we cannot control our child. They are external to us, and our need to control them and their resistance to our control over them is what is causing this chaos around bedtime. So tune into calm, into yourself, and tune into calm around your child too. So have an expectation that devices will be put off as you come closer to bedtime, because it is what is needed for our brains to wind down. So our kid playing digital games that require so much of energy and adrenaline rushing through them is not going to be able to have the quality of sleep that you want them to have. So make sure that, hey Christina, good to have you there. So it's so important to switch off digital devices yourself and share with your child the advantage of switching off devices and why you are doing this together. So having a routine, tuning into your own calm allows your child to tune into their calm, because they are picking up emotional cues from you. The next thing is, give your child a clear outline of what's going to happen around bedtime. Does your child know what bedtime routine is? Allow them to know. Plan it with them. Do it during the day when they are not tired. Don't do it when they are exhausted and run down and resisting your control. Do it at a time when they are in a good state, when you're having dinner. What is going to be the bedtime routine? Have that set in on paper and pen. Have yourself discuss it with your child before, so your child knows what the expectation is, and believe in that. Have that expectation and intention within yourself as you put it out, that your child will follow through. Why I say to do this is because your doubt in them then takes that energy into. So as we say words like, it's time for devices to go off, and it's time for you to go to bed, it's time to have your bath. As we say this and we are not expecting them to follow through, watch the energy from which you speak, watch the tone of your voice, watch the words that you use. So let's trick the system, let's play the energy game, let's believe it even before it has happened, and expect it from your child, and choose your words from that energy as you get your child on board onto their nighttime routine. The next point I've got here is charts. You might want to have charts of what happens around bedtime. Do pajamas get put on after they've brushed their teeth, or do we put pajamas on before? Do we dim the lights? Who chooses the book? Is it one night you choose the book that gets read, and the other night they get to choose? Or do they have an opportunity to share with you a book of their choice? Or what I loved doing with my kids was sharing with them a book that I was reading. Our kids are so interested in us, and to be able to build that connection with them, they want to know what's going on in our life. So open up a book that you're reading, pick a paragraph from there, and explain to them what messages you receive from the book. Here I'm talking about personal growth books, those were my favorite, but I challenge you to do it with any book. Your kid gets an insight of who you are, the way you think, your thought processes, because they are learning from us on so many levels. So chart of all the bedtime tasks, which includes, putting lights off, getting into your pajamas, brushing your teeth, could be bath time, could be book. Whose turn is it to choose a book? Is it mom's book that gets picked, or dad's book that gets picked, or is it their book that gets picked up this time? Then make a note. So often we find our kids want to share so much with us because they've got our undivided attention. They want to share so many stories with us, and this can go on and on for hours, sharing what happened in the day and all of these topics that they want to ask you about, and your advice that they need. If this is your case, because this was certainly my case as well, because our kids are so excited to have our undivided attention at bedtime. So what do we do to address this is have a little notepad on the side of your child's bedside table, where they write down, or where you jot down notes of all the things that they want to tell you, that you can tell them possibly on their drive to school the next day. Or they could you could talk about it at breakfast the next morning. But that they are being heard, they are being validated. Put them down on a piece of paper, put it down as jot points, as these are some topics, just 2 to 3 words of the topic that your child wants to talk to you about, so they don't feel unheard, where you find yourself getting upset that it's already so late and you want to tell me this now. You don't want to bring that energy in. Allow them to feel heard, allow them to feel validated. At the same time, while they feel they are winning because they are being heard, you feel like you're winning too, because your bedtime routine hasn't, the time that you spend in getting your child to sleep hasn't stretched beyond your control. So you still have control over it, and you still have control over the situation by jotting down points of what your child wants to speak to you about. Let me know if you've got any other points that you want to add to this talk, to this little live, that will support other parents, where you found have worked for you. Please feel free to share. My 5th point is allow time to connect with your breath. So important. We can train our kids at this time, at bedtime, to connect with their breath. It doesn't just assure a good night's sleep, because their busyness of their mind has the opportunity to shut down. Allow it to be an activity that you both do together, because it's so brilliant for us to do too. And connecting to our breath is so important. And if we have learned, I learned this at such a late stage in my life. Can you imagine having learned that as a child? What a beautiful gift we give our child, to be able to bring our mind and focus just to their breath. Because our kids today are exposed to so much of stimulus in their environment, digital devices, the games they play, technology, social media. At night time, if we can just allow 5 breaths where we take a long breath in, ask your child to focus on the breath, allow them to feel it coming from the base of their tummies all the way up through their body, allowing them that guided time where you do the same and you do it along with them. And on alternative nights, you can ask them to lead, where you can connect to breath. Ask them to observe what thoughts are coming in as you do that, and put them down in your little journal that you note down points to discuss later. So use this opportunity. Bedtime is such a beautiful time to create connection, to come to a piece of calm, to come back to our own true nature, and to connect to our own truth that is a void of fear and anxiety and all of the chaos that we can experience during the day. Allow for bedtime to be that time where we come within ourselves, and the best way to do that is through our breath. So I look forward to hearing what advice you have for me, for the other mums in this group. What has worked for you? These are what worked for me. These are my 5 steps. The first step is to be calm. Tune into your calm, and allow your child to tune into their calm by having a routine, or switching lights off, checking into your anxiety. Where are you at? The next one is a clear-cut routine of what's going to happen at bedtime. Let your child be very clear about what bedtime routine looks like. The third point is to have a chart that indicates all of the steps, so nothing gets missed, or you find your child's already in bed and then they have missed brushing their teeth, for example. Having those checked off before, make them look pretty. There's so many charts on Google with graphic images and emojis in them, which you will enjoy. So just print what's already there. There's printable stuff there that you can already use without having to do it yourself. If you need me to send you one, just let me know. I will send it to you. Next, point number 4 is make note of all the topics that your child might want to share with you. Allows them to be validated and heard, and doesn't let them feel shut off, or they don't feel into your anxiety of wanting to hurry up with bedtime routine, because that is just not possible. You can't hurry into something you want to ease into. So make sure you put that all down. And then 5th point is allow this time to connect to your breath, where you can tune into your own inner calm, in a guided way with your child, and allow your child to guide you too. As thoughts come up during this process, add them to that list where you're making notes of topics that your child wants to discuss with you. And make sure the next day that you allow for that time during breakfast time, or during or during their ride to school, or if you're walking them to school. So plenty of opportunities for love and connection. It is our greatest need of our child, and I look forward to supporting you on this journey. I am running a half-day workshop where I am sharing about emotional resilience and how important being connected and in tune with our emotion is to being the best parent your child wants you to be. So emotional resilience for parents raising emotionally resilient kids is my upcoming workshop that's happening in, I think, 5-6 days. Next Wednesday is my workshop on being an emotionally resilient parent that raises emotionally resilient kids. Remember, we cannot give what we don't have. Thank you. It's in the comment section just there. Our upcoming half-day workshop coming up on the 24th of March. You have to be there if you are trying to shift your child's behavior pattern. It starts with you. The way you respond to them, the energy with which you parent them is so important, and that's why emotional resilience is so important. So I encourage you to jump on, register today for your free ticket to our half-day workshop, Emotional Resilience for Parents Raising Emotionally Resilient Kids. I look forward to seeing you there. See you guys. Bye.